Hello and welcome to our presentation on potential procurement options for your home. We'll be discussing the advantages, disadvantages and risks associated with each one. But first, a little bit about ourselves. My name is Stephen Peters.
And my name's Adrian Beckers, and we are currently in our second year of studying a Bachelor of Construction, majoring in Construction Management.
The objective of this presentation is to inform you of the advantages and disadvantages of different procurement methods and the risks associated with them. We will then make a recommendation to you of which procurement method would best suit your needs and why.
The first procurement method we will be discussing today would be the package deal. This procurement method is one of the easiest procurement methods. This method consists mostly of house and land packages, of which you would have a couple of standard house designs to choose out of. As this is a standardized design, the contractor can give you a pretty accurate price as he has done similar houses before. He will then give you a guaranteed maximum price and an approximate date of completion. The good thing about this method is that you are unexperienced, and in the building industry you don't have much responsibility, as the contractor takes responsibility for the design and construction of the project. This enables you to only deal with one person throughout the whole project. It's also good that the contractor will give you an accurate price from the start. This method is also one of the fastest procurement methods, as the construction can start at the same time as the drawings are being done. Unfortunately, if you are looking for a unique design, this would be hard, as this method is inflexible to design changes. When changes are made, it could become rather expensive and time consuming. These house designs usually lack good architectural aesthetics, and the design is driven for good buildability for the contractor. Using this method also doesn't mean you get the best value for money, as there is nothing else you can compare it to. This could also lead to lack of quality, as there is no one overlooking the project. You also have a limited amount of sites to choose from. The design is also done for a flat site. The biggest risk would be the quality assurance for the building, as there is no external party surveying the building. The builder could cut corners to make more profit, and by using this method you can take chances and can't see how much it would actually cost for them to build the house. Any variations to the design could have huge costs involved, as the design is more complex to build.
The design bid build method of procurement is known as the traditional approach. This approach is the most common and well-known approach. Design is bespoke by an architect of your choice. Then when your plans are completely finished, they go out to tender. You pick a selection of suitable building companies to tender for the build of your house, then choose the one that best suits your needs based on price, time and quality. Once the tender has been awarded, they will start the build with their subcontractors. Variations can be made along the way, but these will have to be drawn, consented and a price agreed upon before going ahead. This is one of the overall longest methods. Now for some advantages on design bid build. Everyone has clear roles in the project and contracts to let them know what these roles are, and a well-established method. This is the most common procurement method, so all contractors will be familiar with it, and you'll have good price certainty, because when the tenders come in at the start of the project, you'll have your guaranteed maximum price. Also, it is easy to arrange changes in design. You just get the changes drawn up, consented, and the contractor will build it as a variation. This procurement method also gives you control over the final product, because you have your own design at the start, and if you want to make any changes, you can. Variations can be accurately valued, because they have to be drawn up, priced, before they go ahead. Now for some disadvantages. This method has a longer overall construction process, as it is linear. This means the design has to be finished before construction can start. And during the design process, contractors have no input which could potentially lead to buildability issues during construction. When the plans have been designed, the architect can only give you a rough figure of what the cost of the house will be. This could mean budget blowouts and redesigned plans at extra cost to you. The main contractor would often use the least expensive subcontractors to cut costs, as this is a competitive tender process. This would mean more supervision would be needed during construction. You will accept liability for the design once you accept it from the designer. And lack of communication could lead to defects and variations during the construction. Also, with competitive tendering, this could lead to adverse relationships between contractors.
The third method allows you to purchase your own section, and once you have bought your desired section, you can then go to a build contractor. Through them you would design the house that you desire for your section. The same company will also build your house, so you only have to deal with one company. They usually build these houses on a lump sum fixed price. This is good for you, as the contractor takes responsibility for the design and build of the project. The good thing about the method is that you get to select your own section and that you get the house that you desire. By doing it this way, you would be less design errors, which would be less variations after the total project has been completed. By having the designer and the contractor working for the same company, they have better communication, and this makes it easier to deal with. By having one company, they would have preferred subcontractors which have good previous relationships. The overall construction period is shorter, as they can start on site earlier. The disadvantages of this method is that the creativity of the design may be limited, as you cannot pick your own designer or build contractor. This way, the contractor will also not be as motivated to look for cost savings, so he would just add an extra bit of cost on top. The contractor has the responsibility for the building, which gives you less control over the building, and variations could be expensive. The risks is low, as the contractor gives a guaranteed maximum price and a finish date at the start of the project. The contractor also takes the design risk and the workmanship risk, but quality is out of the client's control. This could lead to you not being fully satisfied.
You will need to employ a project manager at the start of the project. One of the big things you should look for would be their past experience for similar projects. You then go through the design process with an architect, and then the manager puts out a tender for subcontractors, then picks the appropriate ones. The project manager will help you through this process with his knowledge and experience. Throughout the build, he will manage subcontractors and quality of workmanship on site till completion. The management procurement process is usually used on more complex builds, as you need the experience from start to finish. Now for some advantages for the management procurement system. There is a sole point of responsibility on the project manager. He checks the quality assurance for materials and workmanship using his experience and knowledge. He knows what the industry best practice is. Also, there is one point of contact for the client, architect and engineer, which make things easier on site. When dealing with subcontractors and making decisions, he acts in the client's best interests, because that's who's paying him. The project manager is involved from the start to the finish, so he's familiar with the site, and he can look for cost savings in materials and methodology because of his previous experience, and he is not motivated by money, as he is getting paid no matter what. And now for some disadvantages of the management procurement system. There's an extra cost for hiring the project manager throughout the project. You will have slightly less control, as the project manager will make some decisions for you. The project manager takes most of the risk for the project: delays, materials, and quality of workmanship. The client, although, has to find a suitable project manager with the appropriate experience for bespoke residential builds.
The best recommendation would be the management procurement method. This would allow you to choose your own section, have a bespoke design, and a project manager will have most of the responsibility and liability throughout the project. Doing it like this, you can also discuss the design of the building with the project manager and the architect to give you the desired aesthetics in balance with buildability. Having a manager with past construction experience will ensure that everything is built to a high standard using quality materials. He will also inspect all the work done to see if it meets the building criteria and that good overall quality is achieved. This would reduce the chances of the building leaking. Having one project manager on site from the start to the finish of the project would help keep the building within timeframe and budget.
Thank you for your time. We hope this presentation helped your understanding of different procurement methods.